I am not a Bible scholar, nor is my brain any better than average, so what follows may be completely wrong. According to the Hebrew Testament, in my unlearning and unlearned opinion, the God Yahweh took upon itself the job of roaming the earth in search of girls and women who wanted to be pregnant, and then obliging them. Most of that obligation fell to the God's priests in the temples of Yahweh. The God, of course, also did the same service himself for Sarah. And Yahweh visited Sarah as he had said, and Yahweh did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son. Genesis 21, verse 1. In Genesis chapter 21, verse 33, we find that Abraham built an Asherah, which is, or was, a phallic and yonic pillar, an idol representing the mating of female and male sexual organs, which, of course, the Bible editors falsely translate into either grove or holy tree or tamarisk tree. He built this idol in Beersheba, or Beersheba, which he dedicated to the god YY-EL, or Yahweh of the Gods. I noticed via Google search today that the new evidence has been found rather recently that suggests Asherah was also the name of a fertility goddess, separate from Astarte, Inanna, and the other goddesses the ancient Hebrews and Babylonians worshipped, and not just the name of a phallic pillar planted in the ground by the ancient Hebrews. And Abraham planted a grove in Beersheba and called thereon the name of Yahweh, the everlasting Yahweh of the gods. Note that Hebrew verses often repeat themselves to add emphasis. The plural of Asherah is Asherim, a word which is common in the Bible regarding the worship of the god Yahweh, the god Baal, and several other gods. A bag or a box was set next to the Asherah so that people could give offerings to the god or goddess that the Asherah served, which in reality was offering to the priest, of course. Ashtoreth, Baal, and Yahweh were three gods that the ancient Hebrews worshipped at these Asherah. Inanna and Ishtar were two of the goddesses. The judge-priest Hosea eventually removed all of the Asherah from Hebrew temples dedicated to the god Yahweh, and ejected the holy prostitutes from those temples. He failed to stop the ancient Hebrews from worshiping the fertility gods and goddesses, quote, in the high places, unquote, and in the groves outside his military and political reach. Though Yahweh often visited mortal women, he was just doing what his sons and the sons of the other gods had been doing. Genesis says that the sons of the gods, which is Beni Ha-Elohim, were copulating with mortal women and producing giants as offsprings, which is, of course, just what the Greek gods had been doing, and producing such children as Hercules, Perseus, and many other heroes. The sons of the gods is used in the Bible at least 6 times that I can recall. Probably more, I suspect. The god Yahweh, in the form of a priest of Yahweh, visited the wife of Manoah in the field, while Manoah was, quote, not with her, unquote, and impregnated her and conceived the hero Samson. See Judges 13, verses 9 through 10. And Yahweh hearkened to the voice of Manoah, and the angel of Yahweh came unto the woman as she sat in the field. But Manoah, her husband, was not with her. And the woman made haste and ran, and told her husband, and said unto him, Behold, the man hath appeared unto me, that came unto me that day. When Manoah had heard that his wife had been successfully debauched by the priest of Yahweh, of course he did not get upset. He had specifically sent his wife to the priest of Yahweh to get pregnant, as far as I can tell. The god Yahweh, of course, also visited Hannah at least half a dozen times, and produced 3 sons and 2 daughters. 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 21. In the Hebrew Testament, it is usually either the gods or Yahweh of the gods that is written. When God itself is used, which is the word El, E-L, it is used to note one specific God out of many. The word Ha-Elohi was used as the gods of person so-and-so, or the gods of this place. Elohi Elohim was used for the God of the gods, and often referred to the God Yahweh. Genesis 31, of course, is an amusing read. The Hebrews had teraphim, or therapim, which were small house idols, some with huge erect penises. Jacob's wife Rachel was somewhat fond of her father's, and she stole a few of them to punish him for past transgressions against her that he had committed. She sat on them, apparently using one to masturbate with, perhaps to magically induce pregnancy, while Laban went looking for them. Rachel made an excuse. She claimed she was menstruating at the time for not standing up to greet Laban when he entered her tent. Of course, she was using one of the idols at the time. The Bible says she sat on them. A carved penis idol even answered questions put to them. See King David's ephod, E-P-H-O-D, of Yahweh, as in 1 Samuel chapter 23, verses 9 through 12. Though, personally, I cannot imagine what a stone penis might have to say, nor do I want to know. 2 Kings 17 claims a phallic pillar was set up and worshipped on every high hill and under every green tree. The priests of Yahweh were angered by this because it cut into their income. The temples to Yahweh had holy female, the Kadasha and Kodashos, I can't speak Hebrew, by God, and male, Kadish and Kadishuth, whores that generated income for the priests of Yahweh. The priests therefore objected to people ignoring the middleman and getting their fertility religion right from the source, such as from the great goddess Inanna, see Jeremiah 7:18, and her handmaiden goddess Ishtar. Funny thing, the word for a male homosexual, Kaddish, also means holy and sacred. The word was used in Exodus 20, verse 11, to describe the Sabbath day. A young woman virgin who first started her prostitution job at the temple of Yahweh would have an idol of Baal Peor, which means Baal the hymen breaker, when being initiated into the Kadesh Oth. Oh, I'm glad I don't have to speak Hebrew. The penis was considered so sacred that men used to swear oaths to each other by grabbing each other's testicles and making their vows. Testify is derived from that practice. Any of all of what I have just said in this video is, of course, entirely possible wrong. As I said at the start of this video, I am not a Bible scholar, I'm not a Hebrew scholar, and I'm not an ancient Babylonian religious practice scholar either.